Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and we're producing this episode for Forbes, where I'm a contributor covering social entrepreneurship and impact investing. We are extraordinarily fortunate to have with us a special guest today, live from Nepal. It's midnight there as we're visiting with Bishnu Adhikari, the in-country director for CHOICE Humanitarian. Bishnu, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Devin. It's my pleasure, and it's a difficult time over here in Nepal, but it's always wonderful to talk to our dear friends on the other side of the world.
Well, we appreciate the great work that you're doing, but before we talk much about CHOICE, I wanted to see if you can give us that firsthand report of what the last 3 weeks have been like, including the terrible earthquake aftershock yesterday. Tell us what this has been like for you personally.
For the first hour, I was with my family. It was a Saturday, the only off day in the country, and I'm so happy that it happened on that day when I can be sorry about my kids and my dear wife being apart from me in work and school. So it was a terrible event, but still I'm happy that we were together. At the same time, when the news started coming of the destruction and the life, many lives it took away, I was so saddened. My family sat together, and based on our faith, we started saying prayers, and it's been a time. It's just very hard to understand what's going on. Everything was shaking, and there were no telephone working, and then all of a sudden the electricity went out, and there had been a radio broadcast that some monuments in the country where tourists have been enjoying those facilities have been gone down and come to flat. So it's been very saddening time for me and for my family, as well as the people of this country.
Now, with CHOICE Humanitarian, you work with people all around the country. I wonder if you would take just a minute and help us understand what it's been like to visit those villages around the country where you've been working with people and assessing their situations. Give us a report on how they're doing and how you feel about seeing the challenges that they're facing.
CHOICE Humanitarian focuses on self-development. For last 2 years, with my mentor and guru that I respect the most, James Mayfield, we started a program called NSDP, a district self-developing program. And I have been in touch with 180 smaller villages, and they have become part of my life. And with CHOICE and our efforts, we wanted to help them start smaller businesses and come out of the extreme poverty. Now, all that has gone to stop, because we have to focus on rescue, relief, and hopefully when we get to the reconstruction phase, we will re-emphasize our earlier model again. So many of the families who we have worked with for last 2 years have lost their homes, either completely or some of theirs are not livable. So it's a very, very difficult and challenging time.
In March, I had the extreme pleasure and privilege of visiting you in Nepal, and you and I, together with other volunteers, visited a little village, and I'm sure I'm going to say this wrong, but Bakrejgat. Have you been able to get a report on the condition of the people that we helped then?
In Bakrejgat, as you may remember, their homes are built by stacking rocks on top of one another, and it's just a very poorly built housing situation there. And some of those houses have been collapsed. Others have been damaged seriously. And some of them are still serving, and people have been able to go back. But yesterday, we had another instance. And from yesterday, I don't have any telephone communication with those people. Before that, they were their school have started, and they were kind of coming to a normal life. But now again, this restarting of the normal life again have been disrupted.
Yeah, it's such a challenge. Now, in the country, the loss of home is huge. I've heard that perhaps as many as 800,000 homes have been destroyed, displacing millions of people. Is that roughly a correct assessment?
Yeah, it's roughly a correct assessment, yes. About more than 500,000 homes have to be rebuilt. A good thing about the village that you talked about earlier, there is no human casualty in that village. So that's the good news I can send to you.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad to hear that. Those wonderful people that we got to know, and the hours we spent dancing with them, working with them, visiting it right in their homes and helping them. It's comforting to know that at least none of them were killed. But just such a sad story to think of some of those homes where we were there working, having been destroyed. Tell us a little bit about what CHOICE is doing right now to help with the reconstruction and relief efforts. As
a development organization, we shift our gear from the development work to the relief work for last 2.5 weeks. And I think we will continue that effort for another week or two. But we have already started a process of rebuilding. We started communicating with the local government and the central government, and they came up with a bank refinancing policy. And we have commented over the policy that it doesn't touch the poor because they are asking for the collaterals. And as you and I know, the poorest of the poor have nothing to put against collateral for bank loans. So I am still working and hoping that this particular policy will be changed and made more friendly to the poorest of the poor. If not, I mean, CHOICE is there to go and work with them, and villagers themselves will gather together and help each other. That process has to be initiated as soon as possible. But meaning the CHOICE have done all the table work of designing a safe, earthquake safe family homes. with the using more of the local materials, and as we progress and the government will finalize their bank financing policy, we will be able to start this process right away. If that process will take longer, then we have a temporary solution for them, temporary housing solution. We have sent tarps and tents and some food items for about 5,000 families in Lamjung and 4 other districts.
Well, I really hope that you'll be tremendously successful in this work. Clearly, as a nonprofit organization, you're going to need some financial support from your community and others. Where can people go to make a donation to the work you're doing there on the ground?
I think the best way to handle that is to go through the CHOICE Humanitarian website, which is www.choicehumanitarian.org. And everyone who is interested to support in this effort, they will find information on there. Very
good. I've got a few follow-up questions, and these may seem irrelevant under the circumstances, but at some level they seem to me more relevant than ever because of the emotional strength that you are demonstrating. I think every social entrepreneur in the world, everyone who's trying to find some way to do more good, will likely face some sort of challenge along the way. It may not be as daunting a challenge as you're facing, but it may feel like it. So I'm wondering, there are so many people who look up to you, Bishnu. You are literally known around the world for your humanitarian work, but who do you look up to as a role model, especially when you are in such a difficult time, when you must need to be able to look up to someone for inspiration?
In life in general, I have a great faith in God, and I look up to God, and I trust Him, and I believe in the goodness of His mercy upon the human race. But there are heroes in real life. Okay. At this particular moment of the crisis in the country, I admire especially 3 different groups of people. I have visited to many villages, and I have seen enormous compassion between those who have been suffered by these terrible calamities. And they are sharing. They have been good to their neighbors, and I have been uplifted by that example. At the same time, when I go to the rescue site and talk to a soldier who is under the beam that had been collapsed and trying to find someone inside whose voice can be heard from outside, and I talk to him, and he says, "Bishnu, my mother and sister has been killed in other district, but I'm working here. This is my duty." And I feel like, what a wonderful person. It's not a job alone. It's not just a job, but it's his desire or her desire to help and help people in this situation. I admire those people. 3rd group of people, and it gives me a confidence that how small the world has become. Everywhere, whether they are in Europe or United States or Africa or Latin America, I get millions of emails, and they share their concern and solidarity and many people have been contributing, some through Choice, some through other organizations. However, they have been contributing. That tells me that we all are together. When there is a crisis in one corner of the world, the rest of the world comes together. And I bow my head and give thanks to everybody who have been so nice and so caring and sharing with their resources and time and knowledge. I would like to thank each one of them.
That's a great sentiment. There really are some great people in the world, and certainly you are chief among them. Bishnu, you are a remarkable individual, extremely capable, and clearly you've had choices to make in your career. You could be doing almost anything and could be making your living almost anywhere. Given your ties and connections to the United States, you don't even have to be in Nepal. You could probably be living almost anywhere in the world. Why do you choose to live in Nepal and to do the work that you do for Choice Humanitarian when you could do anything?
I will start this by giving a little bit of a background how I grew up. I grew up in a small mountainous village, knowing the life from my childhood, that hard work and compassion makes your life meaningful. My parents were very, very hardworking people. We were 10 of us, and they've been helping us to feed and clothes and things, which was not easy. On top of that, they helped us go to school. It's a great brought up. It was not easy, but it's a great learning brought up. I would like to contribute to those families who have been raising their children in the similar situation. When I was in Russia doing my engineering degree, and later on in the United States, I had many opportunities, as you have mentioned earlier. It's more fulfilling for me when I come and do things here on the ground where the need is greater. I mean, there are different issues all around the world, and there is a different need. It's not all about food and shelter alone. There are different kind of needs. But when you are deprived of food, shelter, and education, your life has a very limited opportunity. And many people have been pulling me out of that situation. And I feel like if I can do just a little to pull someone out of that situation, it would be a big achievement in my life. That pulls me back to these villages and to Nepal.
Well, thank you, Bishnu. You are an inspiration. You really are such a great example. Everyone on this that's watching the show today has one thing in common. We come from all walks of life around the world, and people may approach this as philanthropists, as entrepreneurs, as impact investors, all kinds of different people from different walks of life. But I think everyone who's watching this has one common desire. I call it the greatest common factor, but a desire to do good, to have impact in the world. Give us one tip, if you would, from your experience on how we can have more impact.
my personal experience been that when you have a passion, then you can find ideas, you can find resources, you can connect with people and make it happen. So those who have desire to make the world a better place, eliminate the extreme poverty so that everybody can live a human life. The inhumanity, the poverty, to the level that they cannot utilize their potential. That's if every one of us have that desire and make it a part of our goal in life, though we may be in different profession, different walk of life, we don't have to do every day this. But if we just give some time, some thought, and when there is an opportunity, jump in and do it. Doing is important. When somebody thinks and do something, I think the one that have capacity to change, maybe they are in fewer numbers, but they have a larger capacity to change this world. And I admire both group of people. The people like myself who are on the ground working, and people like they have their profession and just give maybe 10 days per year, or some money or some idea per year. And they have that commitment in their life. Throughout their life, they want to do this. I think it will change the world.
Yeah, I think you're right, Bishnu. I think if everyone contributes, we really can address the world's great problems, including helping to rebuild Nepal following these massive earthquakes. Well, Bishnu, remind us again how people can contribute and learn more about the work of CHOICE Humanitarian.
I would encourage those who would like to make a difference to visit CHOICE Humanitarian website. That is www.choicehumanitarian.org.
Great.
And you will find information there.
Thank you very much, Bishnu, for your time today and for your great work. We certainly pray for your success and wish you every success in rebuilding your great country, and appreciate you taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I thank all the listeners and your audience for listening our conversation and helping us in this effort to helping CHOICE in this effort to rebuild Nepal. Namaste.
Namaste. Let's do some good.